If PayPal is the only option for you to do the transaction, don't do the transaction. Contact the actual seller or the buyer, whatever, whoever the other party is, and ask them for alternative ways to send the payment to them or whatever you'd like. Even e-transfers, which work around the world by email. Do not touch PayPal, because if anything, you need any kind of support from PayPal, they are not there for you. Well, on September the 4th, I actually sold a product on eBay to a client, and that was not a client, not nobody I met. It was a buyer, and the buyer was in France. It was actually a company. And so that particular transaction used PayPal, and no problem whatsoever. The whole transaction was very smooth. The communications back and forth between myself and the buyer were very good. But the buyer said, look, when you ship the actual item to us, we already have a UPS Worldwide Saver account. And the actual transaction required that they pay for the item along with $37 US to actually take care of the shipping charges. They said, look, our shipping charges are already taken care of. When we get the product, can you please refund us just the shipping charges for $37? I said, absolutely, not a problem. So the monies, of course, were held all in escrow with PayPal. Then what happened is that when that was all received, I got an email from PayPal saying, okay, looks like your monies are ready to be handled. So I didn't click on any links or anything. I logged into PayPal's website, logged in with my credentials, went in there and saw what I believed to be a particular sum of money that was meant for me. So it said, you have to refund, the shipping charges to this client. And I said, not a problem. So there was no entrance of numbers or whatnot, but I just assumed that they actually had the $37 separated out from the cost of the item. They flipped them. Okay. And actually eBay did part of that too. It's the way the eBay uploads information into PayPal. So it wasn't clear what was going to happen, but when I clicked on send, then I got a summary transaction page that came up and told me this is how much money was sent from you to point to the other party. And I thought, oh, that's wrong, completely wrong. So right away, I wanted to go and just simply cancel the transaction. And I just assumed that I would have that kind of control. No chance. PayPal has no such control of any kind. You send it, you are done. That's it, 100% finished. So, and when you think about people who send e-transfers by email, as long as it hasn't been processed by the recipient at the other end, you can rescind it. If you send if you do a transaction with a credit card, it usually takes a couple of days before it gets posted. So you can still go and make fixes on it or whatever, because you could easily type something wrong and shift a decimal point, right? So what the buyer actually received was the entire payment back to them. I got zero. So right away, I realized after about 2 or 3 minutes, I have no control. There's nothing, you can right click on the transaction. You can look under their menus. You can do everything you want. You can't do anything. So I decided to phone PayPal because I realized, let's work on this right away. And so you can't talk to PayPal at all. They have gone 100% virtual. There's nobody to answer phones. And in fact, when you phone up their system, they automatically they redirect you to FAQs, or they redirect you to go into their website to log in and to start a dispute or to do whatever. But it's all, quote, you're not going to talk to a human being. So I follow all those instructions, get in with PayPal, get into the chat business. They tell me somebody will get back to me in 5 to 7 hours. Okay, so that's not good. That's crazy. So then I realized, okay, I'm going to send an email right to this buyer and to the company saying, look, don't process this. This is not a correct transaction. It's a fraudulent transaction. I'm going to ask PayPal and eBay to investigate this. So just like you would expect that if you were told that something was potentially a scam, you're not going to click on it. You're not going to process it. You're not going to do anything. These people this company's over in France. So for more than 8 hours, that amount of money sat in their PayPal account, not even touched. It could have been pulled back, could have been canceled, could have been adjusted. PayPal has access to my account and theirs, everything. PayPal finally gets back to me and says, sorry, but we want to make sure that we offer the best speed possible to allow people to exchange money. So they have no safeguards of any kind, which is insane, because right now to log into PayPal, you have to put in a username, password. You have to prove that you're not a robot. You have to do a collage and check on things. and they send you an SMS message with basically a 6-digit code that you have to log in. So they got all this security to get in, but once you're in, they have zero security to move money around. Now, this is the second time I've lost money with PayPal. And it begs the question to me, what is it they're there to serve? If I'm just going to rely on the good nature of somebody at the other end when I transfer money, why do I need an intermediate company like PayPal? And PayPal, here's the real irony of this. Not only do they know that this is completely wrong, they've even said in their chats, yeah, it looks really strange that you refunded $510 to this person and you only asked for $37 for the payment of an item that's worth thousands of dollars. Like, this is insane. The people are absolutely stupid. I mean, you need 3 or 4 people from PayPal in order to get a triple-digit IQ of somebody that you can speak to. Like, it's just stupid. They took a service fee to make this transaction happen. So not only is it criminal what happened, and not only is it fraudulent, they extracted proceeds from the actual transaction. So the buyer got back to me and said, okay, I phoned them and also got a hold of them by email. And they said, look, we don't know if that buyer said, look, I don't know if you're a scam artist. There's all these scams going around or whatever. And the buyer is using that leverage of that message I sent to them to say, look, I'm not going to return any money to you unless PayPal or eBay sends me a letter or sends me an email directly to me telling me that, look, this wasn't a scam. This was just a mistake, and to refund the money. And I'm ready to do it. Okay, guess what? PayPal will not contact anybody, whatever. Neither will eBay. They require that you log into their site, that you check all your messages, and that you actually respond to those messages in order to see what they would like you to do. So they say, we don't phone anybody. We will never phone anybody. And I'm thinking, we don't send unsolicited emails, they say. Well, guess what? I get unsolicited emails from them probably 2 or 3 times a month telling me about updates to their policy, invoices that maybe are outstanding or what's happening, or for that matter, new things, new phishing scams and whatever, and I shouldn't do this or that. I don't ask for those emails, but I get them anyway. So this is absolutely insane. So that's why I decided to go online, and I looked at how do you complain? How do you get this out to the world? And I certainly know about social media. And I certainly know about other different, Better Business Bureau, and I've talked to them, even some authorities. And I'm not quite ready to go that far yet. I'd like to think PayPal gets a brain in a hurry, and they will actually go and step in and say, okay, we're going to contact the buyer for you. Or more importantly, this is what they should do. They should say, here's your money back. We make it our problem to actually go and check on the buyer because we facilitated that transaction. There was 8 hours that we could have done something and we did nothing. And they wouldn't do anything. Even when I told them what they needed to do, they wouldn't do anything. They said, no, it's not a service we offer. Well, what service do you offer? To me, PayPal sells one product. It's called trust. So does your bank. They sell one item, trust. And if you don't have trust in your bank, you pull your money out of your bank and you run. Well, I'm telling everybody, run from PayPal. And here's the real sticker. eBay is going to be dropping PayPal. They're already working on their own e-commerce solution for business reasons, but they've heard enough BS coming from PayPal and from people like me getting pissed off that it's not so much I'm not going to use PayPal. I'm not going to use eBay either if they're using PayPal, which means eBay is going to lose all kinds of money related to this, or they're going to have to default to some other transaction. I also purchase on Amazon, Walmart, Banggood, AliExpress, Alibaba. I can tell you, Amazon, just a week ago, I had a piece of equipment, and I buy this kind of, electronic equipment, things like that. I had a brand new piece of equipment that worked great for 2 months, and then it failed. So I bought it on Amazon. So I wanted to go and actually check and see, how do I get a hold of the company? And because it has a 1-year warranty. And they said, well, you just got to contact the company. No problem. Write out a little letter to the company. No response from the company. Nothing from the company. So I phoned back Amazon. I said, I can't get the company to contact me. Within less than 5 minutes, the guy came back and says, you know what? We're going to contact the company for you. Guess what? Here's a new item for you. We're sending it to you now. Just make sure that, and then when you get it, send in your return label, send it back. It was incredibly smooth. I've even gotten on the phone to talk to somebody with AliExpress because there was something that was missing in tracking. I'm talking to a live human being over in China. What the hell is happening with PayPal? What's happening with eBay that they are now going to automate everything? So you can't talk to a human being because unless they think about every permutation and every possible thing that could ever screw up in any kind of transaction between one human being and another human being, why the hell do we need them? Get rid of them. Now, I'm not so, eBay can solve this too. And I've asked her after eBay to go and solve this too. And I haven't filed a complaint on Piss Customer about them, but I have gone after them to say, look, you guys can solve this too, because you guys are the ones that uploaded the wrong data. And even when you look at my item that's been sold, it shows refunded $500 some odd dollars, paid only $37. You look at it and go, where can I get that deal on that kind of item? Can you imagine selling a car for like $100 and give back the other guy $10,000? No sane, reasonable person is going to look at that and say, that makes sense. So there I am. So that's where I want to tell people, you stay away from PayPal at all bloody costs, because if anything goes sideways, you are screwed. And PayPal won't even let me open up any kind of dispute on this, because you have to have a problem first to open a dispute. And even if I say, I've got a dispute against you, PayPal, they go, oh, well, no big deal. Or I've even had people say, I'm going to get a supervisor to contact you. I've given my phone number. I've given them just ridiculous amount of stuff that they already know anyway, but I'm just confirming it. And I've even had somebody from PayPal call me, ask me questions just like you asked. I got part of the way through and he hung up on me. And I told him at the beginning of the interview, if we get disconnected, here's my phone number, please call me back, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm finished now to talk about this. This is, I'm an IT professional. Anybody makes a mistake with their fingers. It wasn't clear what was going to happen in the transaction. I do all kinds of transactions like crazy online. And the previous time for me losing money with PayPal is that PayPal, it was 61 days after, by the time I tracked down that my parcel was missing someplace or whatever, and I want to get my money back, PayPal came back and says, our policy is 60 days. Sorry, but we can't help you. Like, have a look at all the work I did. Look at all the forensic Sherlock Holmes stuff that I did for you, PayPal. Look, I've tracked it all the way down. Why can't you step in? Because that's what you're there for. So I think that they are scamming themselves, that they extract money from people. And when things go sideways, they come up with excuses that they can't do anything. This is not the same company that Elon Musk created. And it's not the same company that eBay, remember, eBay used to own this company. They got rid of this company. There's something really wrong with this company deep down. I think this company is dead. I think people should run for the hills. If you look at credit card companies, all the credit card companies will tell you that if you run into a fraudulent transaction, most of the time what they'll do is, if it looks like it's a reasonable transaction, first of all, they freeze the asset on the other side. And even this company that won't give me my money back, I'm pretty sure what it is, they've got a bad employee and that company's not too sure what's going on, but they have an eBay presence. And I even said, look, tell them that they can't sell anything until they figure out what this problem is, and give back the money, especially when I got emails proving that they know it's wrong. They're willing to actually send it back. They just want to authenticate that I'm not some sort of scam artist or whatever. And of course, when you get online and all the different things that can happen out there, it's mistrust of party A to party B. But whoever's on the other end is using this to their advantage. They're saying, I know I got all this money by accident, and I know it's not mine, and I'm not going to do anything until somebody official actually tells me that I should. And that official entity should be PayPal first, followed by eBay. But if they don't send me an email, and if they don't send me a letter, or if they don't phone me, I'm not going to do anything. Well, that party at the other end already knows that these two companies have that policy. They're not going to contact them anyway. So guess what? This now comes back down to, I have to trust you. You have to trust me. And we're back to the old ways of how we actually used to exchange money. I could send you cash in the regular postal plain snail mail system, pure cash, and I can still stop it before you get it. I can even tell the postmaster, don't deliver it to your door. Don't even you can't do anything. This is almost like PayPal, not only being told not to do that. PayPal's guy will come up, give it to you, and watch you open it and go, have a nice day, and walk away and say, oh, by the way, I collected a fee for delivering that mail that I was told not to deliver, but you know what? I just felt I should deliver it. I would like to say to them that if you have any kind of payment alternatives in any kind of email, any kind of electronic transaction, other than PayPal, to consider those. And that means a regular credit card, could be an e-transfer. There's even better security actually with like Western Union or TT. Any other system that's out there, investigate them, make sure that you might want to do an email, some sort of transaction with them, but at all costs, until PayPal changes their ways. Do not touch PayPal. If PayPal is the only option for you to do the transaction, don't do the transaction. Contact the actual seller or the buyer, whoever the other party is, and ask them for alternative ways to send the payment to them or whatever you'd like. Even e-transfers, which work around the world by email. Do not touch PayPal, because if anything, you need any kind of support from PayPal, they are not there for you. They're just there to point you to FAQs or to give you excuses on something as incredibly simple as this. They know this was a bad transaction. They know that there was an 8-hour lull, that they could have fixed it. All they had to do is cancel it. That's all I asked. Go into that transaction, cancel it. Let me reissue it and be correct. That's all I asked. Nothing more. No, we don't offer that as a service. Then if you can't offer that as a simple fix of anything, why are you there? How do you protect buyers? How do you protect sellers? They don't do anything. It's a facade. You think you're protected until something goes wrong. Then you find out you're not protected. Don't use PayPal, period.